Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 3-0 Take, where we talk all things Major League Baseball. Here's Kyle Corwin and Nate Reyes. It all starts right now.
Oh, welcome back to the 3-0 Take, presented by Chinook Seedery. This is episode 579. I'll be your host, Kyle Corwin. I'm here with my co-host, Nate Reyes. Nate.
Casey, how are we?
Good, man. I'm loving this World Series. I'll just come out and say it. Loving this World Series. It's going 7, isn't it? Is it fair to say?
Probably. There's punches being thrown back and forth. Got to assume it's got. I mean, there's just so much good happening.
I mean, if nothing else, I'm thoroughly eating up the Dodger and Blue Jay fans going back and forth saying this series is now over. This series is ours. The amount of Blue Jays fans that I saw in the comments after game 1 saying that they were headed for a sweep is the numbers more than I would like to admit, given who they're going up against, and vice versa. The amount of Dodgers fans clapping back after game 2 when just the night before got taken out to the shed. So
Short memory, man. Short memory.
Strong response from the Dodgers, but all I'm saying is I'm just eating up the back and forth of these fan bases that are both just, I think, a little delirious at this point. I don't think they entirely know really what's going on. They're just kind of responding to every pitch, it seems. Right. But that's the beauty of postseason baseball, and that's the beauty of the World Series. And we are now 2 games in. Series is knotted up 1 apiece. Did you think we'd be here? Did you think?
I had a feeling Dodgers would take game 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you didn't anticipate either team jumping out to a 2-0 lead?
No. Just didn't feel that way. I know we talked about like the predictions before of, Dodgers taking it. I think we both said 6, didn't we?
Yeah, I was leaning 5, but I couldn't. I didn't have the. I didn't have the internal fortitude to commit to 5.
Yeah. Which is still a possibility, but yeah, man, their pitching has just been unbelievable. Like the Dodgers have truly figured it out on the mound, and even this, like, the struggle with Snell, like, it just didn't feel like it was, like here's the Dodgers of the regular season, like here's the pitching performances we're used to seeing. Like, they've been well all postseason. They've been doing well. So
that is a good point.
The punches are going to be coming back and forth.
That's a good point. That's honestly, it's kind of the way I felt watching game 1, where I saw Snell have we're watching Snell just sort of crumble. And
I think we saw it right away too in the stream. Kind of wild right away.
Yeah. It just
struggle with command.
Yeah, struggle with command was not as sharp, but we're watching that. Shout out to the people that joined us for the stream, by the way. That was great. Had a great time. We're watching that, and you truly felt like it was, I mean, it's unfortunate that it had to happen in game 1 of the World Series, but you truly felt like it was an outlier given how good he's been as of late. And like I said, it's unfortunate it had to happen given the circumstances, for his sake and Dodgers fans' sake. But that's just, to your point, their pitching has been phenomenal. And when Snell goes out and has that start, it was not like this is kind of what we were expecting. It was like, no, the fact that the Blue Jays not only did he just struggle, the Blue Jays came out and took command and did not look back offensively. And I know game 2 obviously was a little different, but to come out and set the tone the way that they did in game 1 at home, that's every team's dream.
the Blue Jays have like the whole, offense is contagious thing. Hits are contagious. I don't know if I've seen a run like this in recent memory, where it's just like they're not just putting up 2 or 3, and you know what I mean? Like, oh, we gave him an extra 90, or oh, we bobbled that potential double play and gave an extra at bat. Like, and it's not just a run or two. It's like
bunches.
They pour it on. This is, if they get an inch, they are taking absolutely a mile and going for it. So it's like, it's impressive to watch. It really is. And the Dodgers have to be flawless on that side to make sure that doesn't happen. And it's little stuff. And we would, I'm not going to get negative because we always do, but like, we talk about some lack of baseball IQ plays and some just little, maybe lack of like attention, like focus at times across the league. But you see a couple slip ups here and there from pretty much every team. And I don't know if there's a team more equipped to punish you the way the Blue Jays punish. Specifically offensively.
That's a bar, my friend.
They're just relentless.
That's a bar.
Thanks.
No, I'm with you. And honestly, I knew the Dodgers were going to respond in game 2. You just had to assume that was the case. And you heard them talking about it after game 1. You heard broadcasters talking about it. There was articles being written about it, about how game 2 was a must win for the Dodgers. Because you go down. I mean, nobody's, I would venture to say majority of people would not be surprised, not just with this series, but with any 7-game series, if you're the road team and you go down 2 games to none to start a series. Like, nobody is like, whoa, how does it now? If the roles were reversed, if you're at home and you go down 2 games to none, obviously it's different. So with that said, I understood the sentiment that the Dodgers had to win game 2 just because of how good the Blue Jays offense has been. And so I knew they were going to respond, but I didn't foresee the Blue Jays rolling over might be a little strong, but I just thought, even though Yamamoto was on the bump, I just thought we were going to see that continued offense pick up right where they left off in game 1. But I mean, that just goes, obviously we'll get into game 2, but that just goes to show how dominant Yamamoto was, how much that start was needed. The timing of that, I don't think could have been better. I think having him follow up Snell's, fart start, little stinker there in game 1, I think was huge. Really serving as a stopper in game 2 to turn the tides, get things back to LA, all evened up, I think was huge. But yeah, take away from these first 2 games, like, I know I already said it, but this series has all the makings. This series is trending towards going all 7. I just don't see any other way around it, because with the way that the Blue Jays came out and just put an absolute beat down, and I cannot stress enough, it was a beat down. It was game 1 was one of those, like, okay, call off the dogs kind of games where it's like, and you and I were watching it, and we're playing the chain name game in like the 7th inning, which is never a great sign. It's good for us. Who doesn't love a good, chain name game? But the fact that we're doing that in like the bottom of the 6th, the 7th, because things were just so out of hand, wasn't impressive on the Blue Jays front. However, going back to what I said, the fact that the Dodgers responded the way they did, and to do it in such convincing fashion, I think is just all the evidence you need that this thing is probably going 7.
Yeah, because they're also really good. I think there's a lot of names showing up. Like, already you're seeing production from so many different names and solid ball, man. the Addison Barger pinch hit grand slam is just sick.
First pinch hit grand slam in World Series history. I want to say it was the third in postseason history. The first time it's happened in the World Series, which I mean,
good moment for it.
If they go on to win this thing, if I'm Addison Barger, I'm talking about that for the rest of my life.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, honestly, even if they lose it, that's still pretty sick to be able to have that under your belt. But, you know, if you're a reason, like if you played that significant of a role to help set the tone in game one, yeah, I'm most definitely talking about that for the rest of my life. But
also, pinch hit success makes managers just look genius. Anytime a pinch hit goes well, you know, because they hardly ever go well. And especially with like a obvious pop in Addison Barger not starting that game. You know what I mean? And Snell on the mound, like, you know, you can't really blame him. But I think he's probably going to be getting ABs the rest of the series. Like, that's something that carries a lot of confidence the rest of the series, you know?
Well, confidence too in knowing that even, you know, if he's not getting the number of ABs that he would hope for,
yeah,
at least if you're Schneider, and again, I know it's just one AB, but that one AB and doing what he did with a grand slam, that has to give both Schneider that has to give the whole team confidence, especially Barger, that if he steps into the box in a similar situation later in the series, that recency tells you, no problem, I can handle this. I've quite literally done this on the grandest stage, and it was just a few games ago. So that's got to be huge for a guy like Barger, and honestly anybody else that steps in the box late in a game where it's like, all right, we've done this before, we can handle this.
Yeah. Anything else from game one? Anything else sticking out at you?
Garbage time homer from Ohtani. No, jokes, of course. We love Ohtani. We don't have to go down that road again. But
I don't need the pitchforks coming out, man.
I did see, however, and I thought it was kind of crazy. I don't even remember which AB it was from. Was it game? I feel like it was game 2. But I saw a tweet. I'm just gonna have to, put him on blast a little bit. It was from Fox Sports on at MLB, or MLB on Fox. Sorry, and it was a clip of Ohtani swinging and missing, and the tweet was, Ohtani just tried to tie up the game with this swing. And the replies were as you would expect it. They said, so we're posting swing and misses now. And it goes back to what you said, where it's like, I get the frustration with this is an example of what we're talking about, where it's like, if this were anybody else, is this getting posted? And that's kind of the things we're talking about. So we're not hopping camps, but we're just trying to highlight both sides of the argument here, where it's like, no, we are talking about one of the greatest players of all time, if not the greatest when it's all said and done. Who's to really say? Not our place. However, on the flip side, if you're posting swing and miss clips real time, that we're going too far.
That's the argument, and that's like the battle, because like, what's the in between, right? We talk about like we need to expose these guys as much as we can. We need to get individual coverage as much as we can, and then we get this. And I think the problem is social media just ruins it. Like, in a way, it ruins it, because social media, I think there's ways that we look at certain posts as like, would this be like a newspaper headline back in the day? And then if not, don't post it. But if you're on the social media side, as you know, it's like, you got to pump out content.
Sure.
And it is polarizing, and it does get people pissed off in the comments. So it's like, yeah, might as well take advantage of that. But what is it doing to like the story of it? And it's It is obnoxious.
Well, it's unfair to people like Show. I mean, sure, his name's getting promoted that much more, I guess, with every angry reply that populates. But it's like that's the kind of crap that I'm talking about, where it's like this is unfairly pitting him against other people, where he was not even responsible for this. He was the guy at the plate for sure, but he's not the one posting clips of himself swinging and missing. So like, this is why people are like, I'm over Shohei, I'm over the GOAT argument, I'm over this, I'm over that, whatever. And it's because of nonsense like this. Anyway, some notes from game one though, that wanted to mention. Obviously they've played 2 in the series, but with that game 1 win, it's worth noting that teams to win game 1 of any best of 7 postseason series have gone on to win that series 127 of the 196 times, which is a percentage of 64.8. In series with the current 2-3-2 format, teams winning game 1 at home have gone on to take that series 69 out of 102 times, which is a rate of 67.6%.
Pretty good.
So
pretty good rate. But at the same time, it's like, if the Dodgers get game 1 and the Blue Jays get game 2, I don't know why it changes it. Like, it's 1-1, the series is 1-1. I don't know why that feels so different than this. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I feel like if you're the Dodgers, you're like, we got to get one. You know, I feel like we're stealing one, right? If we get in there and take one of the 2, we're stealing one. Then you're at home for 3.
No,
and then it's the same thing for the Blue Jays, right? Like, going to LA, they're like, we need it. You know, obviously they need one, or otherwise it'd be over. But it's just, I don't know why it changes the narrative so much, but it does.
Look, I get it. When I threw out when I was, it wasn't my stat, but when I was continuing the conversation regarding the historical context of teams that go all 7, that go the distance in their LCS, going up against a team that swept their way into a World Series, people are like, well, that's great, but none of those examples featured this Dodgers team. None of those teams had Ohtani. Yeah. It's like, I get that. And that the same thing goes for the stats I just read off about the teams winning the first game of a best of 7 series in the postseason. I get it. That data is, all things considered, irrelevant to this point in time, to this particular matchup. However, historical context matters.
Yeah.
And like the example we brought up last time, the whole, if a team goes up 3-0, there's historical context there. And it very much strongly favors one side versus the other. So it's like, it's not going to tell the full story. It can't accurately predict what's going to happen, but it is relevant because, there are trends in this game. There's trends in everything. There's, there's ebbs, there's flows, there's likelihoods, there's percentages. We love stats as a sport. So that's all we're doing. Like whenever we're bringing up this, this historical context, that's all we're doing. We're not trying to like predict what's going to happen. And we're certainly not looking at it through the lens of, well, but how does Ohtani impact this? It's like, no, we're just giving you the percentages and the odds of what's happened in this game leading up to this point, and let the chips fall as they may. That's all we're doing.
My last note on game 1 was Emmett Sheehan coming in for Blake Snell. And I think at that point, what was the score at that point? It wasn't horrendous.
Was it Sheehan and then Anthony Banda?
Yeah. Because Sheehan did nothing. No disrespect. But I'm trying to remember what the score was because it felt like
Banda gave up the 2 homers.
Yeah. It just felt like, let's see. So Snell gave up 5, but he was responsible for at least 1 on base when Sheehan came on, if not 2. Sheehan only got 1 out, gave up 2 hits, a walk, 3 earned runs. I don't know why. I mean, the game at that point was, I don't know, maybe 4-2, 5-2, somewhere in that range. But it just felt like Dave Roberts just like punted in a way. It gave that, like, it's just an interesting, because if you get out of that jam and it's 4-2 or 5-2, like, that game's still very much within reach.
Sure.
And I don't know. I mean, I don't know. That's just me kind of viewing it as an outsider. I don't think Emmett Sheehan is bad by any means, but like, I haven't seen him being like, let's get out of the jam here. I don't know. It's early enough in the game too, where it's just like
there's still enough outs to work with. Yeah.
Like, let's try to get out of this. But it felt a little punty to me.
And I know Dave Roberts likes using Vesia later in games, and I know he's obviously dealing with that personal matter. But and I even asked you on the stream, I was like, would this have been, maybe it wasn't as late of a situation as he would normally come in, but it was high-ish enough. I mean, they're down, so I mean, it's it's urgent for them either way. But it makes me wonder if, like, he was with the team, would that have been an instance where Vesia would have come in? I don't know.
I don't know either. But I mean, you're talking game 1, you're talking a fresh bullpen. Like, it's, everyone's available. You can press whatever button you want. It was just interesting to see that the Emmett Sheehan button was pressed in a game still within striking distance, especially with your lineup.
Yeah, I would agree. However, the following night, Dave Roberts need not worry about pressing any buttons because Yoshinobu Yamamoto, with his 2nd consecutive CG.
That's gangster, dude.
That's
old school. That's so sick.
That's unreal is what that is. Unreal. To go 9 in the NLCS and then have a little bit of a breather because obviously your team sweeps their way through, and then be like, thanks, this rest really benefited me. I can go out and help the bullpen yet again. Let me go all 9 yet again. That's such a gangster thing like that. And going back to what I said earlier about the timing of Yamamoto's start could not have worked out better for the Dodgers. Like, if he's going to give you that, sure. I mean, sure. It's one thing to, if he kicks off the World Series with that start and you go, wow, what a way to set the tone. However, it's my humble opinion that if you're going to get that either way, if you're looking at it in a vacuum and it's like, okay, kind of rubbing the crystal ball here, looking into the future, Yamamoto is going to give you another CG. Would you rather have it set the tone for you in game 1 and then you all get the doors blown off you in game 2? Or would you rather drop game 1 on the road in a situation where people probably think the Blue Jays were going to come out swinging anyway, and then have them go in game 2 and put a stop to it, set the momentum in the right direction, head back home to LA for game 3? It's my humble opinion, I'm taking that in game 2. Because like it goes back to what you said. You kind of throw those weird, like, well, who wins game 1? What do they go on to do? You kind of throw those percentages out the window because at the end of the day, the series is tied 1-1. It didn't really matter. But who do you feel better about right now? I would probably say most people would say the Dodgers, just because we're going off of game 2 and the way that they won it on the mound with Yamamoto. Yeah. So I think there's a lot to be said, especially for today being an off day as well. You're sitting with that for another day. The Dodgers are kind of resting on their accomplishments from game 2. Vibes are still good today. Blue Jays have to sit in that. That's just me.
I'll play a little devil's advocate with the Yamamoto thing and say, for those relievers that didn't pitch for the Dodgers in game 1, obviously weren't used in game 2 either, plus travel day, we're talking 8 days, 9 days since they last pitched.
Well, I mean, they're getting their.
That's interesting too.
They're getting their mound days. You would have to imagine, like staying at least a little fresh. But to your point,
it's just I wouldn't be surprised, right? And that is something that has been one of those Achilles heels that like you're like when is it gonna rear its ugly head, right? Like when is the bullpen for the Dodgers has been spotty throughout the year. So it's just interesting to see, hey, is this extra rest going to be a positive thing, or is there going to be rust involved? I don't know.
If I'm the Dodgers, not that you asked me, but I'm just gonna give you my answer.
Go ahead, Dave. Answer the question.
That question. If I'm the Dodgers, I'm just holding my nose this whole series and just hoping that I have to go to the pen as little as possible.
Yeah, 100%.
Not that you're getting a CG every time, but I'm just letting it eat with my starters and just kind of forget about the fact that my pen hasn't gotten maybe the innings that would benefit them, and just hope that you can figure out a way to bludgeon the Jays and not have to worry about it. Because I that is a risk I would not be willing to take. That pen has looked downright awful at times.
Yeah, it can.
So I'm riding it out. You got Glass now going game 3.
And speaking of which, today's the 26th.
26th. And people will be hearing this on the 27th. Yeah.
And game 3 is on the 27th.
27th, Monday. Yeah.
It's 11 days since Glass now last pitched. It's just interesting. And it is what it is. I'm not trying to like build in excuses. I'm not trying to say that like, oh, it's going to be bad. But it's very anti 98% of our season. You know what I mean? And that's why things are so different. Because like, you don't play best of 7s throughout the year. You don't have random travel days in the middle of a series. You like this is just, it's so different. It's so different. And I'm just curious to see like how it goes. Which way does it go? And I don't know why I feel like there's specifically with like Japanese pitchers, there's an advantage with extra rest. I think it's because they go every 6th day instead of every 5th over there for most of their career. And like, I think there's just something about maybe their routine that helps them with that extra rest. Obviously we saw extra rest with Yamamoto. It came out throwing great. Like, but then you talk about some of the other guys like Glass now or any other name like Snell in game 1 that had extra time. Like, how does it affect them? That is a part of the equation. It is. So we'll see.
I mean, best case from Glass now, you're probably getting best case in a World Series game. You're getting
5.
I was going to say 6, like absolute best case. So, I mean,
and you're talking about like a Blue Jays team that hits the fastball. They hit the fastball. And we can see Glass now get a little erratic at times too, much like Snell. So that's a team that you don't want a lot of ducks on the pond too often with. On the other side, Scherzer going game 3. Talk about a guy that I think would be the most equipped going into hostile environment. It's the first game in that hostile environment. To be able to just kind of zero in and shut out the crowd in a way.
Can we talk about that? I'm glad you brought that up. I know we've had more in-depth conversations about postseason atmospheres before, and I know at times we've touched on Dodger Stadium and the running joke of, well, half the park is still sitting in traffic by first pitch. I get all that. Not necessarily saying that's going to be the case for the World Series, but it is on a Monday, so I mean, do with that information what you will. But is it just me, or
they are getting robbed a little bit with only having weekday games? That's interesting. That is a factor.
No doubt, no doubt. But when it comes to postseason atmospheres, are we really chalking up Dodger Stadium as a hostile environment? And I understand where you're coming from with your point as it relates to Scherzer being the first guy to go on the road. I get that. But when you look at it a little more closely, how concerned are we about a Jays team who matches being able to... I guess
hostile isn't necessarily the best word for it, but hard to imagine brighter lights.
Sure.
And those are two different arguments, because I get what you're saying. Like, hostility is more so fandom, which I think they're more hostile towards the opposing fans than the opposing team.
And even each other.
Right? So
in certain pockets of the outfield.
But as far as bright lights, I mean, I don't know if these guys lock in or pay attention, but like, you're no disrespect, outside of Drake sitting in a suite, there's not a ton of celebrities sitting at the Rogers Center, but in
Which
LA,
was so forced, by the way. Come on, man. Did you see the video of him and his crew when the Jays punched their ticket to the World Series? He's like, hold on. Now I gotta.
Yeah, find it.
You keep going. I gotta find this. You talk about a forced, fabricated, movement here down the stretch for the Jays. If I were the Jays, I would disown this guy so fast. Not from like the Canadian side of things, but just this, like, you stop. You're not riding with us. Who you kidding?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. But I think it's more so just the brightest stage, the brightest lights, right? Like, and again, like, I don't know if certain players pay attention. I just think of the players that you would guess to be able to shut that stuff out, it's Max Scherzer. Former Dodger as well, by the way. But you're looking around and that backstop's wide open, right? It's just net. And it's like the people are like, that front row is almost like eye level with the dirt because it's kind of sunken down, which is really cool, by the way. I don't know why more teams and stadiums don't have that.
Big fan of that.
But I mean, there's people, it's a who's who everywhere. And it is peak LA Dodger time right now. They are the big bad Dodgers. It's just something to pay attention to. That's all. Something I think is a factor.
There we go. There's a video. All right, let me pop this in. This is just too good. I'm like, he's calling it like the big dance or something. I'm like, Drake, what are you talking about? This is Drake and his crew in game 7 of the ALCS.
One strike away. What do you mean? We're here. It's already written. We're going to the big show.
The big
show.
To the
big show. Get the boys a pizza and some Cokes.
What? Dude.
We're going to the big show. Get the boys some pizzas and Cokes. We're going to the big show. We're going to the big show. Like, shut up, dude. Unbelievable. No, but you're right. No disrespect. Not many celebs walking the concourse or the suite level at Rogers Center. But so that's a valid point. That's a valid point.
And I will
brights
say,
are definitely lighter. The
there it is.
The lights are definitely brighter.
Brights are lighter as
well. The brights are lighter, no doubt.
But I mean, I'm a sucker for it. I'm always a sucker for it. Like, I'm watching the game and they kind of start panning around and they throw that little name tag up when they find somebody in the crowd.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, yeah, I eat that up, man. That's what's cool. And just as a baseball fan, doesn't have a dog in the fight, like, I love that aspect of what the Dodgers are doing right now. You know what I mean? Like, they're bringing in people that...
Why is Guy Fieri here?
Yeah, dude, but I don't know. Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives King needs to be at the stadium right now, and I'm in. So...
Oh, man.
Yeah. You're gonna see Rob Lowe. You're gonna see Matt Stafford in a backwards hat, unless the Rams play tomorrow. I don't know. Did they play today? Maybe they're on a bye. But you're gonna see people.
Like I just typed in celebrities at Dodgers games. We've seen what's his name? Breaking Bad, Bryan Cranston, that's his name, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Lil Wayne, Rob Lowe, Jimmy Kimmel, Kobe Bryant, obviously.
Who?
It's what?
Jimmy Kimmel?
Yeah. It's like why are all the Kardashians at this game?
I was thinking Jimmy Fallon. I'm sorry, because I know Jimmy Fallon's a Yankee fan.
Yeah, guy stinks. Except in Fever Pitch, great film. It's like the Kardashians don't know anything about baseball. Why are they here? Like, oh, I didn't know John Legend was a big baseball guy. This is the experience when you're watching Dodger games. It's crazy. Oh, speaking of celebrities, I don't want to go into this. I don't want people to hear this as me being against movements that inspire action against finding cures for cancer. However,
okay. That's where I thought you were going.
However, what are we doing having a Jonas Brothers halftime show in the middle of a game, of a World Series game?
Yeah. Shame.
I mean, have some shame. Have some shame. I mean, look, you want to take it a step further, and I'll gladly say this. I'll proudly say this. And I would venture to say most people would agree with me. And if there's any like bootlickers out there, take a seat for this one, because this is not your time to talk. This is my time.
Sit down, bootlicker.
The MasterCard thing needs to chill. If we're gonna do this, and look, the people are on the fence about the Stand Up to Cancer thing anyway. They're like, it just feels like virtue signaling. It feels forced. It feels kind of awkward. We experienced it at the All-Star game in Atlanta. You know, it's a powerful thing. Like when you're in the park, I'm sure I know for a fact it's a different experience when you're at home versus in the park. To me, there's a lot more power in the moment when you're in there experiencing it. You're seeing all these people with, signs written with names of loved ones and all that. Totally understand. So I'm not going to sit here and rip it. It's the MasterCard thing. We got
everything has to be sponsored.
It's not even everything has to be sponsored. It's this thing in particular where I'm like if you go back and listen to the audio, it's like, and so our friends from MasterCard have teamed up with Major League Baseball to present MasterCard Stand Up to Cancer, presented by MasterCard. Take it away, friends from MasterCard. It's like, okay, is this a motion? Is this a movement to, come together as, unify as baseball fans to be like, hey, let's just take a moment, remember that there are things more important than baseball, and really just, set in this moment, to be in this moment together? Or is this just one giant, huge commercial for MasterCard?
Yeah. It's a good point. It's a good argument.
And I know that it's been around for some time, so it's not like this is new. But going back to my original point of why I brought this up, inserting the Jonas Brothers concert in there, what are we doing? What are we doing?
There's parts of it it's not baseball. It doesn't feel
like it's
strange.
Like just play the game.
Yeah.
And I know there's going to be those weirdos out there that are like, no, I loved it. It was great. I love the Jonas Brothers. It's like, okay, I don't particularly love the Jonas Brothers either, but if it was an artist that I enjoyed, I would prefer them in just another context. Like, I don't know, maybe a concert and not a halftime show at a baseball game.
Last year too, right? Like the Dodgers came out with Ice Cube, and I thought it was strange, but everyone loved it because he did well. And then the Yankees scrambled to find somebody, and Fat Joe put out a freaking grenade, dude. Just a dead dud performance, and everyone's just like, this is so stupid. And I hate the precedent that's being set on, like, stop. It doesn't need this.
But even the Ice Cube thing, it's like pregame, it's kind of kicking things off, like whatever. If you just want to lump it in there with like the national anthem, so on and so forth, whatever. But we're gonna cut to right field in the middle of the 5th and 6th innings or 6th and 7th innings, and we're gonna kick it off to the Jonas Brothers presented by MasterCard, a song dedicated to those standing up to cancer presented by MasterCard. It's like, I don't know. That's the
Jonas Brothers' new release, new hit song, MasterCard.
That's where I can get on board with the people being like, this is nothing more than virtue signaling. Like, that's where I can get on board with that crew. But otherwise, I don't want to make more of a fuss than I already have about it. But I just hope there's more people out there that would agree with that sentiment, that was just a bit ridiculous. And we need not do that again. Thanks, but no thanks.
I don't know what it is about Ken Rosenthal's face during the stand up to cancer thing that bugs me the most.
Yeah,
just awkwardly staring.
Was the video or the photo guy that he bumped into back in Milwaukee, was that the same guy that was holding the camera filming him for the stand up to cancer thing? Because he was giving the same look.
Yeah.
That's bizarre.
What I'm saying. The look is always weird. You're like, he's like pissed.
Like, what did I do to you, Ken?
Strange.
Silly, man. Silly. But anyway.
What else we got?
Oh, another thing I wanted to get your thoughts on. I sent you the video because can you explain again what happened for game 2? Like, you weren't able to get the video, so you had to go strictly audio.
I was on my phone for a bit. We were heading over to my parents for dinner for my sister's birthday, and it's like only like once or twice a year where I go over there and I'm like, guys, I gotta throw a game on. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna sit here and watch, but like I at least have to have it on. And so I logged into my YouTube TV app, and like the menu comes up for YouTube TV. Everything's working with the audio, but it's just black screen. You can pause it, you see the bar, but black screen. Change the channel, same thing. So I'm like having to like uninstall the app, reinstall the app. So I managed to get it back on in the 9th. I'm thinking the top of the 9th. And I was like, oh, all right, well, we're basically done here.
Dude, you missed the Jonas Brothers concert.
I did. That was during that. That was during that debacle.
Jeez.
So I obviously watched the insanity in clips and highlights, but
okay. Well, that makes sense because I sent you the video that I wanted to get your thoughts on of the Alejandro Kirk knee down situation.
Oh, that, yeah.
Come on.
Strange.
Like, you got to be better.
No hustle thing. I think
no, it wasn't the hustle. It was the receiving.
I watch it again. I think that was Freddie up, right? I think Freddie was in the box.
Yeah, top of the 8th. It's a 2-run game. So again,
I think it hit him. I think it hit Freddie. It didn't. Kirk goes to backhand and it doesn't clank. It shows the side view, the profile side view, and it doesn't even get to Kirk. And it goes
might have
that way.
Skipped, honestly. It might have just
I think
skipped,
it
hit him on
Freddie's
the foot.
toe.
Yeah.
If you watch it again, I think it absolutely hit Freddie's toe, which would have been a dead ball, by the way.
Sure. But bigger picture, though, the reason I sent that to you is as the catching fan that you are.
It sucks.
You gotta be better about being a defensive catcher with the runner on.
I'll die on this hill. I can't see how stealing strikes specifically in those runners in scoring position moments is considered more valuable than letting said runner score on a wild pitch or pass ball. It just doesn't make sense to me. There's so many free bases given up in baseball. And it's very commonly attributed to this new I have to steal strikes all the time type baseball. It's
if you can't, the new philosophy with catching is like, that's the only way to steal strikes. It's like, you can still receive the ball well if you're in a more agile position. But anyway, I didn't mean to make it like a whole gripe, but it was just a note from late in the game where I felt like the game was still in reach or still within reach. And you got Kirk back there just kicking the ball around or whatever, not receiving it, as a catcher should with a runner on third, which I thought was like a low-key kind of pivotal moment there that I didn't feel like maybe got the attention that I thought it deserved.
Yeah.
But
because then it was, wasn't it a sack fly after that? Or a knock? That other runner scored, didn't he? Someone moved up. Runner scored, but also someone moved up.
Well, because the bases were loaded, and I think in this instance, right? So run scored, they move up, I think, and then it was
I think it was a sack fly and then a single. I think it was a Will Smith single after that. I don't remember what Freddie did. I don't know if he walked or...
It ended up being 5-1, so only 2 runs would have scored at that point because it was 3-1. But
maybe Freddie got out. I don't remember, but whatever.
Silly. You can't, takeaway here. You can't, in especially in the World Series, but especially with these two teams, they both have ways of making you pay, and you can't make stupid mistakes.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to get away with them.
Correct.
It doesn't matter, though, because it's still going 7, which was my point at the very beginning. So I still stand by that. So they can play all the stupid baseball they want. It's going 7. And I stand by that. Only based on what I've seen from these first 2 games. Going into it, I said 6, but now I'm fully bought into 7.
I got a friend's birthday party surprise thing on Saturday, so I'm hoping 6. Let's end this thing on Halloween.
You're going to be live streaming from the surprise party. I hope you know that.
Yeah.
Just have the phone on in your pocket. You don't even have to. Just
Game 7, yeah.
Just be on the screen.
It lines up for Saturday, doesn't it?
Yeah, that'd be Game 7. Game 6 will be Halloween.
Halloweeny. Cool.
Any other thoughts?
I wouldn't be surprised to see Roki Sasaki for multiple innings in Game 3. Don't know in what capacity.
You didn't by chance see the picture our guy, friend of the pod, Dodgers team photographer John Suhu got of Yamamoto and Sasaki after Game 2, did you? It's literally Sasaki, and I think there was like a couple other guys in the clubhouse like bowing down. They're literally on the floor like bowing down to Yamamoto after Game 2. I was like, what a moment. What a moment.
That's so cool.
But yeah, no, I'm with you. That I could see that happening.
Yeah,
Could see it happening. Any other predictions for these next couple games? Who's a guy? Let me ask you this, and then we can get out of here. Who's a guy maybe that hasn't had a moment yet that you could see having a moment on either side? Or maybe not even a moment, but just stepping it up massively in these next couple games.
I mean, I guess I'll go my MVP pick. Teoscar really hasn't done much. So, I'm going to see. I think he'll do something in LA. Don't know if it's specifically game 3, but I think he's going to do something.
I like that. A guy I think I might go with who, last I checked, don't think has done all that much these first couple games. But I could see him having a moment or two. Tommy Edman.
I knew you were going to say him. I don't know why. I just knew it.
Well, I was thinking about my MVP pick. I went Mookie, but you just kind of get to a point in these series where it's like, I don't know, maybe he just doesn't have it this series. But then there's some guys where, like, even like Tommy Edman, for example, he's just had a couple good ABs where I'm like, I feel like you're right there. You're just you're needing the right chips to fall. And I think going back home, I think he could have, and obviously he's had big moments for his team in the postseason before. So I think that's a guy I'm rolling with.
Yeah. Kind of waiting for the Dodgers to really blow up offensively. It was a good game 2. And, we talked about a pass ball, talked about a couple singles, single shot, single run home runs. But, I'm curious to see if they just pop off, I don't know. We'll see. Gonna be a good game. Great series so far. I mean, for not having a dog in the fight, I think this is just highly competitive, and that's what I like. And I hope it stays that way.
Frankly, I would love to see what we just saw in Toronto happen in LA. I would love to see, just for the sake of entertainment, I would love to see the Dodgers come out game 3, absolutely blow the doors off the Blue Jays. And then game 4, have the Blue Jays come out and have a statement win to even it back up at 2-2. I would love that. That would set this series up so nice for a last run down the stretch. That would be fantastic.
Yeah. Truth.
Would love that. Other than that, I think that's all I got. So unless you got any other thoughts, this will do it for our little World Series check-in. We'll play it by ear. Not sure when. I mean, obviously, we'll see how the series goes. Could be over as early as Wednesday if the Dodgers, or if either team wins 3 in a row. But otherwise, we'll probably drop back in a couple days from now. But keep an eye out. We will try to do another live stream of another World Series game. So keep an eye out for that. But other than that, that's all I really got.
I got to poop. No good chasing curveballs.
We love you all, and as always, looking forward to talking more baseball with you guys soon. Until next time, stay filthy.